Hello, everybody. We got a couple of people online, and so what I want to do is I want to wait just a couple of moments before I actually start the class to give people a chance to come online. I hope you're all doing well today. I am doing well. I hung something behind me that's usually on the door to my uh, one of my rooms here, and it's just the Om Mani Padme Hum kind of banner that I really think is really pretty. And so I just kind of have it on there. To whomever said hello from the future, I think that was Roberto. Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, why don't we just start? How about that? And welcome to the Dharma Bum Temple Loving Kindness class. My name is Alex. It's wonderful to be here with you today. Not quite the issue that I had yesterday, but that's okay. I mean, last week, which is good, right? That's kind of what we want, kind of figuring this thing out. So thanks for bearing with me last week. I appreciate that most definitely. I hope your week has gone well and that, nothing too horrible has been happening. But, if there's any issues, if you'd like to say anything, I'd like to hear from you. Actually, I just like to know if I'd like you just to say hi. That'd be wonderful. I start out every class asking that. If you're new, I would love for you to say hello and maybe where you're from. If you're not new, say hello and where you're from, or just hello, and anything else that you want to say. That would be wonderful. The format of this class, for anyone who might be new, is that we're going to have this short introduction. We're going to do a meditation on loving kindness, and then we're going to have a discussion. And so you can ask questions, and you can do whatever it is that you want to do, right? Or we can do whatever it is that we want to do. Hello, Donovan. I appreciate you being here. And Jay, nice to see you, my friend. All right. And so I haven't said much of this lately, so I will just say it again. The word that we're talking about here, when we talk about, we say loving kindness, that's the common word that we know. But the word it comes from is this word in Pali called metta, M-E-T-T-A. And metta is this wonderfully rich word from the Pali language of 2,500 years ago in the Buddhist time. And when it gets translated into English, it can mean lots of things. This word is so rich in meaning. It can mean loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, goodwill. And it's not only a wish to be happy, it's a wish for us and for others to do the things that cause happiness. And what are the things that cause happiness? Well, our positive thoughts, words, and deeds. So think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds. That is the motto of the Dharma Bum Temple. And that's actually the motto of this meditation as well. So hello to Jamie and Jennifer and Jeremy and Larry and Meatball. If Meatball's around too, that'd be, yes, Meatball is around. Good. So hello, everybody. Wonderful to be here. Wonderful to see you. That's Larry and Christina. Sorry, Christina, I missed you at first. So hello. And so we're going to talk about this. And one of the things I haven't done in a while is read the Buddha's words on loving kindness. And this comes from the Metta Sutra or the Metta Sutta, depending on if it's Sanskrit or Pali. Pali is just a dialect of Sanskrit. And, these are the Buddha's words from 2,500 years ago. And he says, this is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature, Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing, in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outward and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. And so that's what we're trying to do. And so these are the Buddha's words on how to live loving kindness, how you live loving kindness, and all of the four meditative positions of seated, standing, lying down, and walking. So when at all times you're doing one of these things. And so these are the Buddha's instructions on how to live your life with loving kindness. And what I really like about this is that at the end of a lot of these sutras, he makes a promise to you. He makes a promise to us at the end of the Satipatthana Sutra, which is the discourse on the four forms of mindfulness. Stages of mindfulness, and in that sutra, in the Satipatthana Sutra, the foundations of mindfulness, at the end he promises, like, if you do this meditation, it's a really long meditation to do. He says, if you do that, even for 7 days, you will gain awakening. And he says, by living this loving kindness, he says, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. Meaning you're not coming back. Your karma will be exhausted. So he's making that promise to us. If we do this practice, this is the things that can happen. So let's do this practice on loving kindness. Nobody said that they were new. That's okay. Although if anybody is new, that's okay. You can tell me if you're new. I love new people. Thank you, Donovan. I like reading that. I haven't read that in quite a while, and so it was really nice. It's a nice reminder. It's a nice reminder whether I'm actually doing a meditation or not, or leading a class or not. It's a nice reminder, and so every time I do, I really get a lot out of it, and I marvel that these are words from 2,500 years ago. That long ago, 2.5 millennia, this was the wisdom in the world, and I think. With everything that's going on in this world today, we can use a lot of that wisdom. All right. So let's just get situated here. Take your seated position and let's go. So allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that seated position that's nice and sustainable for you and comfortable, so you're not likely to move around too much. And when we sit like a Buddha. And we can even imagine ourselves sitting underneath the Bodhi tree of enlightenment. Or if you want, you can even choose your own tree of enlightenment. Each Buddha has their own tree of enlightenment, and it's a different tree. So you can choose the eucalyptus tree of enlightenment, the ficus tree of enlightenment, the oak tree of enlightenment, the sequoia of enlightenment, whatever you want. It's your tree and your choice. And imagine yourself sitting underneath that tree, ready for the days abiding on loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, and goodwill. So at first, let's just take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. At first, not forcing it, letting the breath be quite easy and quite natural. Just gently following the breath all the way in and all the way out. If any thoughts arise, just note it and say thinking. Just that act of saying thinking will snap the mind back to the present moment. So just for the next couple of moments, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. And so to begin our formal practice of loving kindness meditation, we're going to start with our benefactor. And a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love and great kindness. Someone it's really easy to have these feelings for. You just think of this person and your heart fills with joy. Your heart smiles and it gets warmer and it gets bigger. And you smile. just thinking about what they have meant to you. And it could be anybody who means so much to you, who's been there for you. And so just picture this person in your mind's eye, and the only thing you have to do is radiate loving kindness to them, and however you understand that word. I like to think of a beam of loving kindness going from my heart to theirs. And this beam is warm and it's just gently vibrating. You can give it a color. It can be anything that you want. However you understand that word radiating, you could just radiate loving kindness to this benefactor or benefactors. It could be more than one. Just thinking about their own wish to be happy, their own wish to be safe, free from harm, healthy. And you want that for them too. And you want them to do the things that cause happiness as well. So just for the next few moments, we'll do this practice for our benefactor. And adjusting our focus just a little bit from doing this practice for our benefactor to now imagining our benefactor doing this practice for us. Our benefactor is our benefactor for a reason. They've meant so much to us, and now Our only job here is to imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us and letting this loving kindness from our benefactor radiating from their heart to yours. Your only job is to let this in. Receive all of this loving kindness from your benefactor. Receive as much as you can. If there is any resistance, that's okay. You could just put your hand over your heart like I'm doing. Maybe taking a deep breath, loosening and softening, and letting more of that in as much as you can. So for the next few moments, we'll imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us. And now shifting our focus again from imagining our benefactor doing this practice for us. And now we get to do this practice for us. This is arguably the most important part of this meditation, because if we can understand this feeling of loving kindness in our own heart from us, if we can have that experience, then we would never, ever harm another human being. And this loving kindness would just flow out of us freely with no effort. So, putting your hand over your heart is helpful too. And just call to mind your own wish to be happy, your own wish to be safe from danger, to be healthy, to be at peace and live at ease in this world. And even recalling some of the ways that you cause your own unhappiness, and forgiving yourself for that. And you can either just imagine your own radiating into your own heart. That's one way to do it. You can repeat phrases like, may I be happy. May I be at ease. May I be healthy. And if you feel any resistance, don't resist, don't resist that resistance, just breathe into it. Can you soften? Can you loosen, even if it's just a little bit? If you can, then great. If you can't, then great. You can't. Then you breathe anyway, and you do the practice anyway. You wish loving kindness for yourself anyway. And you smile. And so we'll do this for the next few moments. And finally, we can explore the limitless quality of the heart by doing this practice for all beings in all directions, just radiating out as far as you can go, just as far as you can go, upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths. May all beings be at ease, whatever beings there may be. So just go as far out as possible. So we'll end our meditation with this part of the exercise. Loving kindness for all beings. So just open your eyes when you're ready. Just taking the next moment or two out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs, keeping that mindfulness of loving kindness about you. And then we will begin in about 45 seconds. If you have a question, you can certainly type in a question, or whether just let me know what your experience of meditation is. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad, or however else you want to describe it is fine. It's your experience is your experience. So just let me know. I'd love to hear from you. We'll talk about it if you want afterward. This is the part of the class where there is some engagement. I can talk a little bit. That's fine. I'm happy to do that. But I want to hear from you. I want to know how you're doing. I want to know what you're feeling. I want to know all there is to know about you. All right. And what's going on with you in relationship to loving kindness. So don't be afraid. Any questions about Buddhism, about the instructions? All of those things are wonderful. Thank you. Jay says he's feeling calm and grateful, and that's wonderful. That's how I often feel after a loving kindness meditation, calm and grateful. And there's something really interesting, and I'm going to talk for a little bit. So if you have any questions, keep them coming, and then we'll get to them after this my little mini story here. One of the exercises that they have you do when you're doing a mindfulness meditation, like the foundations of mindfulness meditation, there's really in that sutra, it's pretty extensive, and there are a lot of instructions. There are a lot of ways to look at mindfulness, and a lot of things to be mindful of that lead to release, that lead to enlightenment, or however you want to describe it. And one of the things that they ask you to do is to witness something not only internally, but externally. So, for example, you're asked to monitor your breath and to notice your breath going in and going out, going in and going out. But what you can also do is look at somebody else, and you can watch their breath go in and go out, and go in and go out, and go in and go out. And that's really important too, witnessing it internally and externally. And you could do the same with loving kindness as well. And it's really it's almost like a look for the helpers kind of part of this loving kindness meditation, where you look at it externally, where you look at other people being, practicing loving kindness. And the fun part of it is they don't even look at it as that. They might have their own religion, their own spiritual path, no spiritual path. It doesn't matter what it is. You're just looking for the helpers. You're looking for the helpers, and you're reveling in that. You're being appreciative of that. And so witnessing this externally is a really fun exercise. I like it. I like that a lot. And it helps me notice the outside world, and it helps me get kind of away from kind of looking at myself all the time in a way that's skillful, watching other people being helpful. And the reason why I thought about this was, so I'm not paying hardly any attention to the political goings on. I know there is a trial going on. I didn't watch any of it. I have no interest really in watching any of it. Um, uh, just because it's just, they're handling it. I know they're handling it. So that's kind of, I'm okay with it. But one of the things that struck me, that I heard about, because, I am on social media and you can't help but hear about things, is this officer who has already been, decorated for his heroism, with, what happened at the Capitol. Uh, but there was some other videos showing that he actually probably saved the life of a couple other people as well, a couple other senators who he told to go the other way because the mob was coming at them, you know. And once I saw that and I heard of that and I thought, that is a helper. And so that's like looking for the helper and witnessing this loving kindness, even though he might just look at it as, I'm just doing my job, I'm just protecting people, whatever it is, you know, just to look at that and appreciate that and look at that as an example of a way to that you can live your life in a skillful way. And like I tell a lot of people, in Buddhism, we talk a lot about, enlightenment and bodhisattvas, these people, beings committed to enlightenment. And what I always like to say is like, yeah, there are a lot of those people out there, and most of them aren't Buddhists. Most of them have their own spiritual path, no spiritual path, and they're out there just being good people doing good in the world. That's all that they're doing. And I don't know exactly always their reason for it, but they do good in the world. And I talked a little bit about last week about some guy I discovered on social media who does a lot of that, and being really, really appreciative of that. And that's just one example of so many people out there doing good in the world. And so I think it's really important that we're aware of that, and that we witness that, and that we pay attention to that and be appreciative of that, and be glad about that. So I was thinking about that a little bit, um, because part of what the Metta Sutra says is, um, let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. And so it's important that you think about what wise people would think of your actions, what wise people would think of your speech and your thoughts and your actions. I think about that sometimes, and like when I think about that, I'm like, yeah, that wasn't the best thing that I just said right now, or did right now, or thought right now. Because it in Buddhism, it helps to be, part of, living in a sangha or being a part of the sangha is understanding that there are people wiser than you. And that's who you rely on. That's whose advice you rely on and whose opinion you rely on. And, they're wiser for you for a reason. And, whatever you do, whatever you say, a good way to think about it is, would this wise person approve of this? And, you can act accordingly. And so it's just really helpful. It's not, it's not a way to, like it's not like a big brother thing or anything like that. It's just, hey, these are wise people, and I'm really grateful that they're part of my sangha, and I can rely on them. So, anyway, those are just a few of the things I was thinking about today. Um, I'm busy at work, so I haven't been really paying attention to, or that much, to any stuff that's going on, or haven't watched any of that. So, although it's okay if you do, but it's better for me personally if I don't. But anyway, let's see. So Larry is feeling grounded and at peace. That's great, Larry. Thank you. And Donovan said, mispraying meditation for a well-being of enemies, that those who have caused us harm, but just gelling in the vibe transitioned to at the end. Okay. Um, yeah, Donovan, this way that we do loving kindness meditation in this class is a bit modified, and it focuses more on self, because the way that I like to look at it is all of our problems and all of our suffering reside here in our own mind, in our own heart. It's all here. And Westerners generally, you know, aren't brought up with Buddhism, and so we don't have the advantage of that, where we learn respect from an early age, and what respect means, and loving kindness from an early age, and the benefits of that. And we're conditioned for all this kind of self-denigration and self-hatred, and so because of that, we're kind of at a disadvantage, us Westerners. And so I spend a lot of time focused on loving kindness for oneself, like a lot of time. And so it's not that having loving kindness for the enemy is an important act. Of course it is. Or the neutral person. Of course it's important. But I make sure that we are able to have loving kindness for ourselves. And since we're kind of behind the curve a little bit, which is fine, that's just where we are. That's not a problem. I just focus on that a lot. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Donovan. Um, all right, guys. So let's hear from you. We have Donovan, who is being engaging and types a lot of things that are spelled correctly and not fat fingered. So yeah, that's not how I type. So I type pretty slow. So thank you, Donovan. I can read what you're saying. Oh my goodness. All right, what else we got? So you can say anything. If there was one part of the meditation that was easier or more difficult, I always want to hear about that. And I'm not just saying that just because, I'm interested in knowing what your experience of meditation is. What is that? What is it that's difficult for you or easier for you? And I know that what's difficult or easier for you this time might be different from last time, and might be different from next time, and I know that, and that's okay. But it's one of the things that it's always good to reflect on. You always should be asking yourself, how am I feeling? What am I doing? What am I thinking? There's a couple of things that happen in any kind of meditation, whether it's loving kindness or mindfulness. Um, and the two things are, and they're called alertness and ardency. And alertness just says, it notices when you go off track. So it notices, if you're not doing your loving kindness, if you just got off thinking some random thought or thinking nothing, and you're not actually engaged in this practice of loving kindness, alertness says, oh, something's not right, right? I've gotten off track. And ardency says, come back. So those two things, alertness and ardency, are really, really important in any kind of meditation that you do. So alertness, ardency. So Larry asked, when I was trying to envision a color, should it try to be green to represent the heart chakra? And that's the great thing, Larry, about this kind of meditation. It can be any color that you want. If it's helpful that it's green because that represents the heart chakra, fantastic. If you like red or blue, or if you like purple because purple is your favorite color, I love purple, then make it purple. Or what color represents loving kindness to you? You can look at it like that. And that's another great thing about meditation as well, is that you can experiment and see what works for you. You know, there's 8 billion people in this world, and we're not going to think the same way and learn the same way, you know, different concepts or whatever. And one of the things I really appreciate about this practice is that it's okay to experiment. You can listen to a teaching and listen to a particular meditation practice, and you can experiment with different ways of doing it. And if you ask any teachers, like, can I experiment with this? They're probably going to say yes, because that's what we want you to do. I know that my specific instruction isn't going to relate to everybody. Okay. Oh, sweet. I love orange, so I'll stick with that. Orange is a great color. Oh my God, I love orange. Perfect. All right. And thank you to Marissa, who said, I also appreciated the reading. Yeah, you know, I haven't done the reading in quite some time. And I don't know why, I just didn't do it. But you know, usually I did it with my phone. I just pull up the Metta Sutra on my phone. But you know, here at home, I have like a big giant folder of printed out like stories and meditations and all that kind of stuff. And I just kind of pulled it out of there. Because sometimes I just like to read paper as well. I was like, this is the paper that I was reading from, and I just like to hold the paper. You know, maybe because I'm, you know, older, you know, I'm, you know, very early Gen X, and I just like, and I like books, so maybe that's it. I don't know, but anyway, uh, thank you for appreciating the reading. Yeah, I hadn't done that in a while, and so I'll try to do that more as we go on here for a loving kindness meditation. So what else is happening? And Jennifer said, I appreciated the reading at the beginning. Thank you, Jennifer. Wonderful to have you guys here. All right. What else do we got going on today, guys? What's happening with you? I don't know about you, but I hope these vaccines come sooner. Sooner. You know, I'm in the next, not the next tier, but the one after that. So I have to wait for a little bit. Uh, but I can't wait, just because actually I can't wait for everyone to get it. It's not just me. It's everyone. I want everyone to be able just to go out and live their life and everything like that. I do feel a bit more stir crazy than um, I'm always comfortable with. You know, like I keep on saying, I'm more of an introvert. So most of the time being by myself is perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with it. But yeah, it would be lovely to engage with other people. It would be lovely if I get to do this class um, in person with you guys, and just kind of watching you and listening to you and engaging with you and all that kind of stuff. So Jamie says, for what it's worth, we just watch In and of Itself, a great complement to any heart practice. Yeah, In and of Itself, that reminds me of the Satipatthana Sutra. Did it have to do with, Jamie, did it have to do with that? Was it a Buddhist kind of thing about the Satipatthana Sutra, or about meditation in general? That would be an interesting question. Just get back to me when you can. It's fine. Well, I hope you guys are doing well. No, not at all. Usually that phrase in and of itself is a very specific phrasing in the Satipatthana Sutra. So that's kind of why I asked that. Lisa, hi Lisa. I really appreciate the meditation. Thank you. I hadn't been to this one since back at the temple in person. Although you say a person at the beginning, I also thought about my dog during the meditation and sending him lots of love. That is perfectly fine. And that's a question that I get a lot. Like, can I do this for my dog or for my cat or for my pet? Absolutely. Why not? It's a being. It's a living being. It's a sentient being. So sure, why not? If these thoughts for your pet, in the West, especially in the U.S., pets are our family. They're part of our family. And so the same feelings that we have for a lot of people, we have for our pets. We love our pets. We'll do anything for our pets. We want the best for our pets. We don't want our pets to suffer in any way. So yeah, if that helps, do it for your pet. That's perfectly fine. All right, you guys, that's okay. This has been really, really good. I really appreciate you being here. Again, I like doing this class. And I like being here with you, and I like, being engaged with you. And thank you for all the people who said hello, and thank you for all the people who, commented and were engaging. I appreciated it. And if you didn't, I still appreciate you being here. Okay, so let's join our palms together at our hearts, please. And may the benefits of this meditation, this discussion, be received by all beings. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are. Thank you for coming. Thank you, guys. I love you all, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.